Hey, did you know that most break-ins happen between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.? That's right, in the middle of the day. I bet you didn't know that. According to the FBI, the average loss in a burglary is $2,000, and that can be hard to recover from for the average person or family. You know, there's over 2 million burglaries that are reported every year. That's one every 13 seconds. And what's crazy is only 1 in 5 homes have home security. This is serious stuff. Maybe because most companies don't really make it easy, and I know that from experience. That's why Simply Safe is my top choice. That's right. My house is protected by Simply Safe, and it gives me great peace of mind knowing it is secure at all times. Simply Safe is going to protect your whole home, every window, every room, every door, with 24/7 monitoring for just a fraction of the cost. The police dispatch is up to 3.5 times faster because they use video verification. There's no contract, no hidden fees, or fine print. It's designed to blend right into your home. No wires, no drilling. It's easy to order, easy to set up. Usually, it's going to be set up in under an hour. Simply Safe has won a ton of awards, from CNET to the New York Times Wirecutter. Prices are always fair and honest. Around-the-clock monitoring is just $15 a month. That's right. Visit simplysafe.com/watchchad. You'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. You've got nothing to lose. Go now. Go to Simply Safe. That's SIMPLI safe.com/watchchad. simplysafe.com/watchchad. Go do it right now. Be secure. It is party time, Mom. Welcome back to the Chad Prather Show here in Studio 22. We are hanging out in the freshly air-conditioned mid-July heat of summer. It feels good in here, Mark. It feels good in here.
It really does.
Let me tell you.
It's kind of actually one of the colder rooms
I know
I've been in all day, which is, when you think about what it used to be like, that's pretty incredible.
Now, for folks who don't know, so if you've ever watched us on the news and Why It Matters, Sarah Gonzalez's show, and, you know, of course, she's got Glenn Beck, she's got Stu Bergier on there, Pat Gray. Every now and then she lets guys like Graham Allen and David Harris and myself sit in on it. That's a refrigerator over there. I mean, that is frigid because Glenn Beck wears so many layers of clothing. He wears his flannel and he wears his thermals and he wears his scarf and his jacket and his sweater and his ascot. Is that right, Jennings? Isn't that what that's called? You used to hang around Heaton. Yeah. Remember Heaton? Remember that guy? He was fun.
That guy.
Andrew Heaton.
I still see his ghost every now and then.
Yeah. But I saw Heaton the other day, and he shaved his beard.
He didn't, actually. Is
that an older picture?
That's an older picture because you saw it on, he relaunched his podcast.
Yeah. On Patreon.
On Patreon. It's called The Political Orphan. You should go check it out. It's funny. But he didn't have a current photo that he could use for it yet, so he uploaded an old one.
Gotcha. Yeah. Very dapper.
Yeah.
Very official looking. Very dapper. That Heaton. Oh, that Heaton. I miss him. We got to get him back in here.
He says he'll come in anytime he's in Dallas. So
okay.
Yeah.
Where is he now? Where is he right now? Andrew Heaton.
He's at an undisclosed location.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, he is. He's been traveling around. I think he's going to go to Scotland for a few weeks.
Yeah, he told me he was going to go to Scotland for a couple of weeks.
But I think he was in Oklahoma last I knew.
We miss you, Andrew Heaton.
Yeah.
Something's off. Mighty Heaton. Follow him on Twitter at Mighty Heaton. And
it's the Political Orphanage now.
Is it? Political Orphanage? Yeah. All right. At the Political Orphanage. Is that right? You don't know.
Sure. I don't know.
Go find his podcast. Anyway, do what you want to do. Party Foul Steve's over there. When you starting a podcast, Steve?
September.
Yeah? You got it nailed down?
No.
You see, you have to use more words when you're podcasting.
I do, but there's a lot to it. You can't just like turn on a microphone and start talking. I mean, you can, but...
Isn't that what we do here?
Yeah, but
pretty much what we do.
You see how these microphones are provided and cameras are provided and everything's just like we just walk in and go to work.
Yeah.
Somebody has to set all this up, buy all this equipment, all that kind of stuff.
Mark, is that what you do?
Yeah, it's actually my job, believe it or not.
Oh, man, I totally thought you sit around eating Cheetos all the time.
No.
Oh. That's why Mark is the puppet master.
I mean, I could start one on my phone or something, I guess, but that would be... I don't want to do that.
I've seen a lot of people do that.
Yep, you can do it, but...
Problem is you're spoiled rotten.
You're exactly right. I am.
All you need is a Tascam recorder. Do you realize back when I was with Podcast One, we had that Tascam or Zoom recorder and 2 microphones hooked up to it, and my lovely wife Jade and I would sit at the kitchen table and talk, and here she is right here. Boom.
I was just thinking, you started out pretty small. Even before that, you were doing it without anything.
Yeah. We were just had the task and we had the Zoom thing.
Yep.
Now, granted, I would send it in to my producer, Sean at the time, not Bougie Sean, but out in L.A., and he would kind of give it a once-over and clean it up a little bit, but it's not hard to do. But you got to get your platform, Party Foul. You going to call it the Party Foul Podcast?
It's going to be something real close to that.
Okay. All right. Well, we won't release anything.
Yeah.
We won't release anything. You got a few exciting business things that are coming up that are
lots
pretty
of
good.
Stuff going on. And
We're doing a lot of planning, a lot of fun stuff.
And
Stay
so
tuned.
I think this is all going to tie into that and the release and everything.
All right, good. In the meantime, go to watchchad.com. Come find me this Friday night in I keep wanting to get them backwards. In Macon, Georgia, at the Hargrave Theater, and then also in Athens at the Georgia Theater on Saturday the 20th. Sunday night, I think it's a 6 p.m. show, so it's nice and early on a Sunday up in Lexington, Kentucky at the Burl. So come hang out with us, and we'll have a lot of laughs this weekend in Georgia and Kentucky. WatchChad.com has tickets and info. Jade, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
That is a throwback shirt you're wearing.
I know. I brought all throwback shirts today.
You did?
Yeah.
Can people see that shirt, Mark? If you give a vanity shot, that's the old Watch Chad that says "Love y'all" right across the state of Texas. We need to revisit that shirt.
We need to bring that one back.
That was one of our very first T-shirts that we did years ago, and I like that shirt.
It's vintage.
It's vintage. That's what we'll call it, vintage. I like it. You're not much on Twitter.
No.
Yeah, Twitter's a dumpster fire, and every now and then we like to go in there and just kind of check out and see what's going on, what's trending on Twitter. I will tell you a fun message I got today. Apparently, there was a fake Facebook account created with my image and name over the weekend.
It has more friends than I have already.
Well, first of all, if I don't know you personally, and I don't mean this in a rude way, so I'm going to try to find the right way to say it. If I don't know you personally, I'm probably not going to send you a friend request from a deal. First of all, mine hovers at that 5,000 limit mark anyway, so
right.
I can't. And if it doesn't have a blue verification check mark, it's not me. Because my Chad Prather fan page is a blue check mark and my personal page is a blue check mark, okay? And then, of course, Instagram is a blue check mark verified, as well as my Twitter is. So if it doesn't have that, it's not me sending you the request. So anyway, it happens just about weekly, whether it's Instagram or something. Somebody sets up fake accounts or parody accounts.
Dating websites.
But
I don't know if those are fake or not.
Well, it could be me. But inevitably what we have is people who are trying to scam people out of money. And some people have lost a lot of money to scammers pretending to be me. I don't want your money. I might push businesses towards you and merchandise and things like that, but I will never directly ask you for money. I don't share GoFundMe pages. Over the years, that's made a lot of people mad. But you don't understand how many GoFundMe requests that I get in a day. So if I shared one, I'd have to share all of them, and my page would just be full of GoFundMe campaigns. Right. So I have to be very cautious with things like that. And it's just a decision I made a long time ago, and people have gotten mad at me when I've come out and said that I won't share them, but I can't share them. So that's that. It's my way of doing business. And God bless those of you in need I hope your campaigns go well. I do.
I'm not sure there's a lot of celebrities that are sharing those. So I can understand.
And you use the term celebrity. I don't. I know. I don't like that term.
Compared to me, especially Steve, I mean, you're a celebrity.
Steve's a bigger celebrity than both of us put together.
That's true. I'm sorry, Steve.
Some lady's getting Jennings' face tattooed on her butt.
Yes.
Well, then never mind.
I
Jennings
highly
is actually the
encourage
celebrity here.
Exactly. So anyway, it kind of blew up last night. People kept sending me messages and saying somebody's pretending to be you. Okay, well, report them.
Right.
Report them.
What are you going to do about it?
Because they blocked me. I can't go look. They want me to do something about it. I can't because the person blocks me, so I can't see that they're imitating me.
I think they've already blocked me too because I cannot find it.
Yeah.
But
I think that page has already been pulled down.
Okay.
So anyway, what I'm saying to the folks listening and watching is, it was pretty funny because this person said, "Well, this is a fake account. It's not really Chad." And another person said, "Well, that's a fake, account." And then this one troll that loves to get on there and I can't pronounce their name because they're weird, and big long name, and says, "Well, that's the irony of it all is Chad's already fake." So that's a long way to tell that story, Mark. It really was. But I love stuff like that. People are just brutal. I mean, they just come at you. So anyway, good. That's fantastic. But we like to get on Twitter because social media is a dumpster fire. This weekend has been no less of that, with Donald Trump telling the squad, as we like to call them, the freshman Congresswomen, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Ocasio-Cortez, to go back to the countries they came from. I think he was targeting Ilhan Omar.
One of them who was not born here.
And so, Ilhan Omar, the accusation there is, and again, they say it's racist because of the whole go back to your, so that's taken as a racist thing.
I think he meant it more, if you don't like it here, then leave.
Well, if you don't like the country, go back and fix the one you came from and make that better. Okay, so is it appropriate? Probably not.
Nope.
Does it ring of xenophobia? A little bit. Racism? That's a stretch. I don't really see racism in that as much as people want it to. But
yeah, but you can call anything racism nowadays.
Yeah, you can. What, Steve?
I was just thinking Donald Trump's a bad racist.
He really is a bad
really
racist.
Not good at it.
I mean, he keeps appointing black women to posts and the gay ambassador to Germany. And
he's a bad homophobe.
He's a bad homophobe. In the head of the Marines now, an African American lady. Sorry.
Don't put me on the spot. I probably should know.
So.
I probably should know.
It's that chick from Wakanda. I'd be all right with that.
Wakanda. What is wrong with you? But, of course, they all came out and jumped on him about, the trending thing on Twitter was Trump is racist and blah, blah, blah. So he doubled down today. He doubled down yesterday and said, when will the radical left congresswomen apologize to our country, the people of Israel, and even to the office of the president for the foul language they have used and the terrible things they have said? So many people are angry at them and their horrible and disgusting actions. Now, what he's referring to, of course, is Rashida Tlaib, who, when they said, what are you going to do about Donald Trump? And she said, we're gonna impeach the mother effer. And then, okay. And then, of course, Ilhan Omar, who is certainly associated with CAIR, C-A-I-R, and which has been, United Arab Emirates has called them a terrorist organization. She apparently married her brother in order to gain access into the country and get asylum and ultimately citizenship here. And then she's also made very many anti-Semitic remarks, right? Okay, so this is a person who wears a hijab and is a proponent of Sharia, but yet is operating under the Constitution of the United States as an American congresswoman from Minnesota. She also took her oath of office on a Quran. So you can see where this starts to get a little bit problematic. So while I'm not justifying Trump and his tweets and saying what he's saying, because me personally, I've already said this in another episode yesterday, Trump needs to just back off and let the left devour the left, because that's what they're doing. But that's not how Donald Trump does. Have you guys watched on Showtime Our Cartoon President?
Oh, God.
I've seen a little bit of it. It's funny.
Have you seen it, Mark?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I love it. I laugh so hard. And I know they're taking shots at Trump and the Trump family. It's a Stephen Colbert production, so that ought to tell you everything you need to know. But the caricatures of everything in there and the dialogue in it is hilarious.
I can bet you this. I bet Donald Trump watches it and he laughs.
Oh, I bet he does.
Probably, yeah.
I have no doubt about that.
Who knows?
By the way, I can solve your Trump problem. Let's just send him a pair of Chinese finger cuffs.
No more Twitter.
Game over, man.
Can you imagine if Donald Trump drank alcohol? It would be horrible.
What if he did it?
Or
what
it might
if he
be
had
better.
like a shot of whiskey and then he became the most sober, eloquent
Exactly.
president ever?
Fourscore,
Yeah.
12 years ago, our forefathers did on this nation. Our forebears did. Yeah. But, I mean, you got to remember, Ilhan Omar, she downplayed 9/11, talking about some people did something, and she wants to defund the Department of Homeland Security. And so this is, the gloves are off at this point in time with what's going on. It really is rough. Our buddy David Harris Jr., who we got to get back on here, he, so they had this social media summit last week at the White House. And a lot of our friends were there. Joy Vila was there. Brandon Tatum was there. David Harris was there. Ronan, DC Drano is his screen name on Instagram. And Grant, who's typical liberal. And just a lot of our friends were there and invited in, Sebastian Gorka. And it just erupted into them, because all these guys see themselves as online, quote, journalists. They're social media journalists. And then you have the mainstream media journalists who were invited. They were there kind of in the roped off area behind that area in the Rose Garden. And then it turned into a shouting match where one guy with CNN, a contributor, yells at Sebastian Gorka, calling him, saying that everybody there was demonic and he'd like to take him outside to prove it to him. Well, Seb Gorka, who's 6'5", and you know, he didn't take that laying down, so he came at him pretty hard, and then it turned into Joy Vila and Brandon Tatum having a back and forth with him. But I was going to say, David Harris, he was coming home from Washington, D.C., and he was wearing his Make America Great Again hat. And everybody was, you know, he loves to do that because he usually tries to get in the first row of first class when he gets on the airplane so that everybody that has to get on the plane has to walk past him. Now, here's a big black dude, right, David Harris, who you're not going to tangle with this guy. And I asked him before, I said, has anybody ever said anything to you actually on the plane? He said no, because when they get on the plane, he'll take the hat and he'll turn it around so everybody behind him can still see it while he's sitting there. And so he was walking through the airport the other day, yesterday, I guess it was, 2 days ago. And this lady told him it was shameful that he was wearing that hat. And so he turned his video camera on and recorded the little confrontation. And pretty interesting that here's a white woman in an airport in a public place telling him that he'd be smarter as a black man if he took that hat off. So where's the outrage there? I mean, where is the racial undertones of that? Again, like, he doesn't care, and I don't care that she said that, but if you're going to hold the president to one standard, let's hold everybody to the same standard, because there is a limitation, first of all, when it comes to human communication. We can't say all that we feel and mean because there's a limitation when it comes to words. And there's certainly a limitation when you start talking about 248 characters on Twitter. You can't convey exactly what you're trying to say. People read emotion into it and things like that. Joy Vila was another. She was walking. She had her Trump pin on, her dress, walking through the airport the other day, and a lady called her out. And it's like, you know, at what point in time you going? It's got to be, you know, got to be universal for everybody on this thing. So, is what it is. Look at what my wife bought me, though. Look at what my wife bought me. I'm gonna wear this on the plane right here. I'm just gonna leave my body shrouded in it.
And that's how they'll return you to the house too.
That's right.
Just shrouded that, but lifeless.
You want to hear some
That's
news
backwards.
you're not gonna
Flip
like,
it
babe?
over.
What'd you say?
You want to hear some news you're not gonna like?
No, not really.
We're gonna hang this up at the house.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No,
right
we're
in the front
not.
yard. Yes,
no,
we are.
Nope.
Let me
Look
tell
what you
something,
just
woman.
said. You just listed all these things. How if you support the president, it seems to be a problem. If we don't support it, then we're the good guys.
Well, I think as soon as you don't fly that flag, you just gave in to their.
Oh no, I'm flying it. I'm an
The
American.
terrorists win at that point.
That's
I'm an
right, they
American,
do.
and I'm free. I can fly whatever I want, and I'm going to put it right on the corner of our yard so that everybody driving past our property will see it.
So Steve and Jenny's are going to fly theirs as well.
I don't care what they do.
As soon
That's
as
their
mine comes
business.
in, I will.
I'm going to wear mine
Jennings
as
isn't
I
going
actually
to.
fly
I'm
an
going to wear
American
mine as
flag
a
in my
cape,
yard
I think.
too.
I'm going to wear it as a cape.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm gonna wrap my truck.
No, you're not.
It's gonna look like this flag.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. Your truck already has a wrap.
Uh-huh.
You're not doing
We're gonna
that.
wrap
I'm
that
going to.
car.
I'm going to.
I saw somebody post on Facebook, and I know I'm going backwards, but Natalie does too, so I'll be Natalie. You were
Why'd
talking.
you call Natalie out? She's not even here to defend
I
herself.
know, because she does it, so I can do it. You were talking about the females. What'd you call them? What group are they?
The squad.
The squad. And I saw
Natalie
somebody
asked that same question yesterday.
about the squad
Yeah.
because
What they called them.
I don't know. But so I had seen somebody post on Facebook about how awful what Trump had said, and I thought, well, okay, but that's not really new for Trump. And I'm like, well, but they have all said such bad things. Why is it he can't, but they can? They're all part of Congress, right? Shouldn't they all be appropriate and professional?
They should be, but they're not.
Human beings.
You know, I mean, that's you don't want to play politics as usual. Look, first of all, at what point in time did we start holding politicians up to be some moral standard? I mean, where in American history have we ever looked at politicians and said, oh, yeah, those are the guys we trust. Those are the people we really want our kids to grow up and be like.
Well, it's too bad that it's that way. It should be that way.
Right. And I've said it over and over again. The reason I even care about politics is because I care about leadership, and we have a massive void when it comes to leadership in this country and worldwide. We're not putting leaders in places. We're putting people, just like I said, people that are old enough and available and have the money to get it done, to get in office. That's the thing. So here's somebody who responds back to Trump, and he says, your attempts at diversion won't work. The real question, when will an extremist, racist, sexual predator who colludes with our enemies to steal elections be impeached? Answer, sooner than you think. Well, that's interesting because you're going to call somebody an extremist, racist, sexual predator that colludes with the enemies when there's no evidence for those things. That's an accusation. You're making a false accusation. You can't give. Now, I know people are going to make the assumptions that all that is true, but you can't give any viable evidence of any of that being true.
It doesn't seem like they have to, though. Not nowadays.
No. But, I mean, what are you going to do? Did Trump have affairs on his wives? Apparently he did. Okay. That doesn't make somebody a sexual predator.
Right.
Okay. It just makes him a philanderer. I'm not holding him up as a paragon of an example for my sons to grow up and be like. I don't want him to be like that, you know. But here's a guy who he was praised. Stephen Colbert even told him on the Late Show, said, I want you to run for president. He was a guest on there. They pulled that episode. Have you seen that clip, Mark? Have you ever seen that clip?
I'm not sure. I might have.
Yeah, where Colbert has Trump on as a guest, and he says, I hope you run. I want you to run. You'd be great for this country.
Can we find it?
It's on
Candace
YouTube.
can find it, maybe?
Yeah, it's on there. But here's the thing. They all wanted him to, back when they thought he was a Democrat. They all wanted him to when they thought that he was going to go out there and represent them. But then all of a sudden, he comes out there and says, I'm laying all that aside, and I'm going to do what I believe is right for America. Then suddenly, all of a sudden, all of the skeletons have to come out of the closet because, let's face it, those folks out in Hollywood, which he's a product of, both Hollywood and Manhattan,
right.
All those people are the same. They're the same crusty, parasitic, gross, nasty-ass, weird people.
But skeletons are going to come out for all politicians at some point.
I ain't running for nothing.
No, you're not.
I ain't running for nothing, but I'm going to run this flag up the pole.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Woman.
Man.
You ain't the boss.
I am the boss, and we both know that.
You ain't the boss.
I am the boss of you.
No, you're not.
Mark.
Mark ain't got nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I'm staying out of this one.
Mark knows which side to be on.
Mark, you know this flag's going up.
Mark has the power to mute somebody.
Yeah.
I'm killing all mics right now.
That's right.
Hey, Chad, you know what Trump should do if he wins the next 4 years? He won't do it, but it'd be great if he did. He should fall on his sword in the sense that he should immediately come out as soon as he wins as a Democrat and start standing for every Democratic principle, and then then watch them all turn tail and go against everything they believe in. We'll be a conservative nation overnight.
Do you think there's a chance he won't win, Jennings?
Yes, I think there's a chance. I think right now it looks pretty good for him, but there's still a long time before the election. I think it really this is one of those times where I think the primary process is really critical, because I think of the candidates running, maybe only one or two stands a snowball's chance in hell of beating him. But if that one or two gets up there, it could happen.
Are they up there yet? I guess I'm trying to figure out who you think it's going to be.
I think if Biden wins, he may stand a chance, because he is moderate, and I think ultimately the loudest voices in both parties are the minority. I think the majority of voters are probably fairly low key and are looking for somebody who's. I say he's moderate. It's not that he's moderate politically. He's moderate rhetorically. So he speaks. He speaks more moderately than some of the others. Yeah.
I think he's dumber than a pimento cheese sandwich. I just do. I mean, Biden's just not smart. He's just not a smart guy.
Well, and he's not good at running for president, too.
If he had been, now he's going to bring in that moderate, and to the degree that he can, I don't know, put Kamala Harris as a running mate, which is probably what will happen. Because let's face it, Kamala Harris can be articulate, but Biden is that figurehead. He's safe. Yeah. He's safe. But if they wanted to run Biden, they'd run him in 2016. But again, the heir apparent was Hillary Clinton.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So Biden was never.
I hope Hillary runs again. I really do.
I would like that too.
That 2016 part 2 would be awesome.
Yes.
I'd pay to go see it.
I think if Trump makes it through the Epstein stuff going on with him, and he makes it through that, he's got the election.
Trump has made it through everything so far.
Teflon Don, baby. Let's talk about Epstein for a second, because that's trending, and of course everybody's trying to make this out to be some big deal. And we've talked about this on the deal before. Jeffrey Epstein, of course, is being accused of being a sexual predator of underage girls and all this stuff. Flying around in his jet. Trump, of course, hitched a ride one time from Mar-a-Lago to New York on the plane. And, Trump's come out and said, I don't know the guy. I've never met the guy. But apparently he had him banned from Mar-a-Lago for being inappropriate with somebody that was working there, a young girl that was working there. And so everybody's trying to say, oh, well, there's pictures of it. But I get that. Graham Allen brought up a good point the other day. If you – okay, again, remember, everybody loved Trump. He was the most rapped about white dude on the planet. I mean, he was in every rap song – and just Trump's a celebrity. He's a big deal. He's been with presidents. He's a big deal. Always has been as a celebrity. He was a kind of an iconic figure. I don't know if he are you going to remember every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes across your path and that and you remember and be like, I don't know the guy. Well, or maybe you don't remember meeting the guy. Did he? I don't know. I mean, I would think if you hitched a ride on somebody's plane, then you knew him.
That's going to, in years to come, it's going to be, oh, you were Facebook friends with that person?
Yeah.
And you're going to be, that's how they're going to connect you. And you're going to say, I don't know them. And no, you're Facebook friends.
Yeah.
But, Chad, you, especially you, but we both meet a lot of people on a much smaller scale. And, I realized at the New Braunfels show, this lady came up and hugged me and started talking to me like I knew who she was. And I felt bad because I didn't, but she knew all about me.
And I'm sure there were pictures of you and her together from somewhere in the past.
Probably.
I mean, there were pictures that resurfaced from that same show of somebody that took pictures of me, and they had been at other shows, and I was like, I have no recollection of ever even meeting that person, or I didn't recognize them. I didn't know that I'd met them before, which is just because it's just the sheer nature of you meet so many people. Mm-hmm. But I would think, if somebody loans me their private jet to get from one city to the next, I'm probably going to remember that person.
Maybe, but I mean, he's on a much larger scale than we are.
If it was set up by your people.
True.
Yeah, and if nobody, exactly. He's not worried about any of that. He didn't call Epstein himself.
Right.
He didn't, and say, hey, can I borrow that plane today?
Hey, Jeff, you've got a fabulous plane. Probably the most fabulous plane ever in Mar-a-Lago. In Daytona. No, you're right about that in that regard. But I mean, hey, let's face it. I mean, Bill Clinton flew on the thing 26, 27 times. There's kind of captain's logs. Sorry, Mark, you're the captain. There's pilot logs of there being underage girls on the planes. Whether Clinton was on those, I don't know. We'll see what comes out. But we talked about this on a podcast last week. Is there any question really that any of those guys are in some way sexual deviants? I mean, and I'm throwing Trump in there too. Mm-hmm. I mean, Trump has plenty of history. And I'm not saying he's a pedophile, and I'm not saying Bill Clinton's a pedophile. I'm just saying Epstein, there's a lot of evidence that says he is. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I mean, we all know those guys were slinging it where they could swing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's their history. They've done it, and there you go. I mean, I could be completely wrong. But I just know that if you are a Manhattan self-made real estate mogul billionaire that is in every rap song in the world, and every velvet rope is opened up to you for every VIP experience across the planet. I gotta think, this many wives in and known mistresses, yeah. So, but I will give him this: he's a moderate that loves America.
Yeah, I was thinking.
He's a moderate that loves America.
I was thinking about that when Jennings was talking about Biden, because he was talking about not necessarily politically, but Trump is politically. He's not super far right.
Not at all.
And the left makes it seem even they make that even a bigger thing because they are so far left and doing all these what I would consider personally crazy things left make him look even better. That's why I wish he would just tweet something like "Puppies save the world." I would love to see how
you probably want to murder puppies. You want to put them in a sack and throw them in the river.
Yep, that would be the comments he would have under that.
Is that how y'all do it in Georgia?
Did you ever hear Dennis Miller had a bit about Barack Obama where he said, I don't have anything against him personally. I just think he was an inept civil servant. I tend to take the opposite tack with Trump, which is I don't have any I don't love the guy, but so far I think he's turning out to be an okay civil servant, and that's what he was elected to do.
So go back to something we talked about yesterday where I said you'll find people who say, I love his policies, but I hate his tweets. You'll never find anybody that says, I love his tweets, but I hate his policies.
Right.
Right? It's okay if the policy's on there, but it's the tweet that bugs everybody.
Yeah.
Because he's not the most eloquent person when it comes to that 248 characters.
He's not elegant either.
Yeah.
So,
But I think that we have to choose. Well, we shouldn't have to choose, but I feel like with every president we have to. I think Obama was very eloquent, but I'm not sure how much he got done as far as being president. Physically got done for us, or
Too
physically
much.
was. I mean,
here we sit in this quandary. Yeah.
I don't know which one would be better. I feel like somebody that's a twerp online but is getting things done behind scenes may be better in the end.
So okay, we talked about this too yesterday, and I don't want to repeat everything, but Trump he's master level troll, right? Because they're talking ice raids.
Level.
They're talking about ice raids, rounding up people that need to be deported. And what does he do is he starts this little battle with the squad, and nobody's thinking about the raids anymore, which is an interesting little tactic. I mean, he's willing to take the blows and the hits. I think he honestly enjoys it, just stirring it up. And I think he likes taking the hits. But what I'm trying to say to everybody listening is Trump does not do everything perfectly. And it's okay for you to know that and agree with that. And it's okay for you to be okay with that. Trump said stupid things. He's going to say stupid things. You don't have to defend him at every turn.
No.
You don't have to defend him at every turn. You don't have to try to justify everything he does and say, yeah, well, but what he meant was, no, you don't. You just don't have to, okay? He's a moderate that loves America. If anything, he's left of center in his politics, but the guy is doing a lot of good things and really trying to protect America and clean up some messes. You don't want to talk about Barack Obama. This crisis at the border started with Barack Obama. It started before Barack Obama, but let me tell you, it became climactic under Barack Obama, and I believe Trump is doing what he can to clean this mess up.
I think he is. The problem is there was such a large, in my opinion, such a large wave of immigrants that came all at one time. There is no way that we could build enough places with all the amenities that they would like as quick as they're needed. I mean, it is what it is. And I it's crazy. I mean, there are other great countries that they can go to too. If I knew that when I showed up there, I was going to be in an air conditioned, first of all, place, but it was going to be what is not perfect for me or have the amenities I want, like a Hilton hotel, then maybe that's not where I would go.
That's true.
I mean, I feel bad. I feel mostly bad for the kids. They've already been drug across the desert, across all these places, and then they get there. I mean, if you've got 1 million kids, in a place meant for 400. What did you? I mean,
Well,
what do
first
you
of
want
all-
what do you want the president to do in the next week to help clean that up?
First of all, it's
That's
a
not
statistical
possible.
fact that 30% of the kids being brought to the border are being rented.
Right, they're being used.
They're
I
being
know.
brought up, and then they return them back down, and they rent them again. And these people are making money off of renting out kids. 30% of them are being used. And God only knows what's happening to these kids on the trips up.
Oh,
and-
I think
and-
we know
and,
exactly what's being happened.
and so
But
it's-
wouldn't that be good to separate them at the border and get those kids away from those horrible people that
That's
are doing
exactly
that?
the point. What are you
That's what
gonna
I
do?
think. That's what I thought the point was too. And when I see someone saying they shouldn't be separating them from families, if they're true families, but how do we know? What if they're
don't till you-
selling them and they're allowing them to get raped and everything else? I mean, you're taking a real chance by leaving your country and walking through other countries that you could have had asylum in if that's really what you were looking for.
Yeah.
And you're bringing them all through this?
Well, that's the new legislation. That's the new legislation they're trying to push, is that if they have not sought asylum in another country before they got here, then they can't apply for asylum here.
Oh, is that not what the rules were before that?
Well, no, you could come here and apply for asylum, but if you're passing through 2 or 3 other countries on your way here and you haven't tried to get asylum in those countries first,
I thought that was what it was supposed to be in the
well,
first place.
in theory, yeah, but that's not what's going on. And see, I believe people like Ilhan Omar and especially AOC are putting these people's lives at danger. And people like Beto O'Rourke and Cory Booker, who are going down and, Cory Booker escorts 5 across the border personally. You're putting these lives in danger because you're encouraging this caravan mentality, these people to come up here and you can have open borders. Isn't it funny that just a few months ago, all of these Me Too screamers were talking about boundaries, personal boundaries. You can't cross my personal boundaries because I'm a woman and, blah, 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 me too, me too, me too. But now they want to have open borders for their country. Now, isn't that funny? Boundaries and borders, they really do matter because both of them protect something precious. They do. You want personal boundaries? Well, you should have country boundaries as well.
Yeah.
The reason is because you're going to have some things that are going to violate you as a person. You're going to have things that violate you as a country. And that's you can't continue to encourage this kind of stuff. That's why Lindsey Graham was on Fox News yesterday talking about, he says, look, yes, it was kind of funny what he said, a little bit contradictory, but he said Trump needs to aim higher and focus on these people's policies and not the personal attacks. But then he went on to call the squad a bunch of communists, which, for lack of better terms, they are. They are cultural Marxists. So here we are. Are you going to go see the new Lion King movie?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. I mean,
Fascist.
I might be disappointed like I was with Aladdin, but I cannot not see it.
You're going to keep watching enough of these Disney remakes. You're going to one day get woke. That's what's going to happen.
I hope so.
Did you see the article on it being fascist? You brought that up for that reason. Yeah. What an insane read on that thing.
Yeah.
Well,
You got to be triggered. You got to be outraged by something, right? This day and age, I mean, pick anything. I mean, pick anything that's out there. Any movie that's ever been made, every book that's ever been written, every music video, every song. If you push hard enough, you can find something that's going to trigger you.
You're wearing a gray shirt. Clearly, you were for the South.
Look at this.
Rising again.
Not only that,
I'm wearing a gray
not
shirt
only that,
too.
there's a Native American chief with a headdress
Cultural
on. Right here.
appropriation,
Look at
Chad.
this. Look there. That's a headdress on a Native American chief. Right
I blame
there.
Shane Smith.
Shane Smith and the Saints.
Somewhere Elizabeth Warren is standing on the side of a road with a tear running down her eye.
Yeah, in a bunch of garbage, just washing up on the river. I mean, you could find anything. It's cowboy hat, probably racist. I mean, it's a sign of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Cowboy,
Which, as we said the other day, women are now part of the patriarchy too.
they are.
Yeah.
100%. But it's fascist, and they said the new Lion King is fascist because I guess the old Lion King is fascist too because
Right.
Yeah.
because it's about all of these a
hierarchy.
herbivores
The lions being subjecting the
that have to come.
rest
They
of
don't
them.
eat meat, so the herbivores they have to come and bow down to the carnivores, and they have to be subservient to them.
Well, they are king of the jungle, right?
not anymore.
you're pushing
it,
now,
Steve.
Now they're not going to
They're
be
not
called
part
that
of it.
anymore.
Yeah, they're woke
Well,
lions.
you go stand out in the middle of that field with that lion and
Yeah.
find out who
Well,
the
if you've
king
ever
is.
been around lions, and I have, the male lions are not woke at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
They sleep all day.
As usual, the females do
They're
everything.
waiting
Yeah.
on their sandwich.
They're waiting on their gazelle sandwich.
Yep.
And you know what? Those girls know how to bring it to them.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Pick those bones clean.
They don't complain about doing it either.
That's right.
do they?
Those girls bring that food in there, and those male lions are like, get off of it. It's mine. Go find something else.
It's just like humans. They have to have the babies. They have to do all the
Yeah,
work.
but then they eat their young too. So
Yeah.
yeah, you girls.
The lionesses eat their young?
Yeah, you girls are
And the
freaky.
males do,
Well, we
too.
wouldn't have to do that if we could have some of the meat that we went and caught by ourselves.
No, that's not the way fascist
Jade's
patriarchy
getting woke
works.
right
The
now.
lioness should just eat the lion.
I don't think that's the way it works.
You don't know.
I saw a funny video meme where this lion was staring at the camera, and it said how your wife looks at the waitress when she stares at you too long, and all of a sudden, the female lion's face just appears in the camera like, one of those in the wild cameras, and he's over here, and all of a sudden, whoop, there it was.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Mark, you'll learn.
Yep.
Yep. Oh my goodness gracious! So, do you have any problem with the new Ariel being black?
I think that she is gorgeous herself. I think on both ways. I guess because they changed Aladdin, and I'm expecting everything from now on just to be a little bit different. No, not as much as the way they changed Aladdin. One thing, because I had talked to some people online about this, one thing that was a little upsetting is I think we have to be careful that we're not taking away from one group of people to appease another group of people. And I feel like that's what's happening. I'm wondering why can't we do new movies with new people and everything?
Because Disney hasn't had an original idea in 25 years.
Yeah.
Since Walt Disney died,
I mean,
they were done.
come on, you're
Same
Toy
story
Story
over and over.
Toy Story 4.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break.
Well, and I know, but I'm going to see that too. I want to. I love the Disney movies, but
You just like to cry.
I know they do make me cry. They do.
Jennings,
I think that
Can I go to Kansas with you?
one of the
Yeah,
things.
sure.
One of the things that we're
You're
going to
gonna cry there,
Kentucky.
too.
One of the things that I had talked about online, or I'm not the one that said something, but there was a redhead underneath a post about that said, I can remember growing up being a redhead, how important this was for me. And now it's being taken away.
Poor gingers out there everywhere are losing their
Yeah.
icon.
Well, the good news about it is that gingers don't have souls. So, I mean,
They don't.
it doesn't really matter,
well, I
right?
didn't
It
think
really
about
doesn't
that.
matter.
Yeah.
They can't even pray.
Yeah. They
can't
try
even
and it
pray.
like burns them.
They do. Yeah, it's like a crucifix on their tongue.
Y'all are awful.
Beto O'Rourke, by the way, another thing that was on Twitter over the weekend, he revealed that he is descended from slave owners.
Is he still running for president?
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
still
he
in
is, and he is woker than woke, man.
He revealed that his own family.
Yeah, he said something that we've been talking about in town hall meetings, the legacy of slavery in the United States, now has a much more personal connection. I was recently given documents showing that both Amy and I are descended from people who owned slaves.
That's actually smart on his part because he's getting out ahead of the curveball because everybody's going after. I can't believe I just said that Beto O'Rourke did something smart, but I think that's probably the best idea is to get out and say, we feel so bad about this, even though it's ridiculous.
So
to feel
it's
bad about.
ridiculous.
if I'm a
Yeah.
descendant of slave owners, am I supposed to feel bad?
Yeah. Didn't you know that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Chad,
Yeah.
you always say it's important to judge people by the time they lived in. They weren't necessarily right, but back then it was a different time.
Okay, and okay, now let me remind you of what Beto O'Rourke said just a matter of weeks ago when he said, "I wasn't born privileged; I was born lucky." Okay, no, you were born privileged.
Yeah.
You descended from slave owners, so now your words are coming back to haunt you because it's all asinine, it's all stupid, it's all disingenuous. Beto O'Rourke, up until apparently this weekend. You think Beto O'Rourke, is he missing meals knowing that is he like, oh my God, I mean, is he grieving, is he crying, is he in solace somewhere alone
He
seeking
probably
counsel?
just missed a jump on the half pipe or something.
Yeah, right. So I mean, because his descendants owned slaves. All right. Well, I mean, America owned less slaves than all the other countries. I know everybody don't really want to get into that history, but really only 8% of all slaves ever came to America.
Yeah.
Only 8%. Now that's 1%. That's way too many. Any is too many.
Sure.
But America was not some great, big, huge slave-owning dynasty. We weren't Egypt and the
No.
Jews. We weren't the Barbary Coast. You understand what I'm saying? Even Europe. We weren't the Viking culture here. So that's just, it's just gotten so ludicrous. And disagree with me if you want, but I'm sure I'm descended from assholes. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of them.
I'm sure you are.
I'm sure there's plenty of them.
There's a slight difference, though, in that you might also be an
Could be an asshole. And who knows, man? I'm already fake, so maybe I'm a fake asshole. Party time, Mom. All I know is we are all descended from something. Not everybody was good. Not everybody was great. Nobody was a saint. It's just absolutely dumb. So anyway.
We have choices now.
Anyway. Party foul Steve sending me text with the timestamps on there for when we said asshole. So Candace can go in there and do it. Oh man. Anyway. All right, look here.
Are we not allowed to asshole?
I don't know. It's weird.
I'm for not on the episodes
What
I'm
about
on.
fake like that's not a real one.
Oh, what kind?
A fake
Well, it's
Like
a faux soul.
Yeah.
Can y'all stop? I can't remember. All
It's a
that.
faux soul.
FAUX.
We're just trying to complicate
a
Candace's
faux hole.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
It
Does it
sounds
faux
like
hole?
A
it
faux
sounds
hole.
like a plastic surgery option.
And the numbers of the podcast just started dropping. Go to watchchad.com. Come find me. I'm going to be in Georgia and in Kentucky this coming weekend. So go to watchchad.com. Get your schedule and some information on some tickets. We're going to have some fun. Heading to Calgary next month. Going to be there August 28th. We got a bunch of shows coming up in between there. So go to watchchad.com. Could be coming to an area near you. One of those places is going to be Ogden, Utah and Missoula, Montana. So check it out. That's just coming up in a few weeks. I love y'all. Jade, thanks for sitting in.
I love you.
I love you. Puppet Master.
Yep.
Jennings. Party foul.
I love you too.
Stay horned.
I love you too, Chad.
Stay horned and stay off of Twitter. For the fake Chad Prather Show
It's faux.
and our faux hole friends, we love y'all. God bless you.